Hello everyone, welcome in science class. As you know that we are going through a chapter weather, climate and adaptation of animals, and this one is the second session of the chapter in which we will discuss about climate. What is climate? As I had given an indication related to the climate to you, that it is an average weather in a particular region over a long period of time. Weather was for short period of time that we had discussed. Weather is a short period of time, but the average weather in a particular region over a long period of time is known as climate. The word climate comes from the Greek word klima. Greek word klima, referring to the indication of the sun. This indicates the climate is the average weather in a particular region over a long period of time, and it comes from the Greek word klima, referring to the indication of the inclination of the sun. Inclination of the sun, that means when the sun is changing its you can say inclinity. Climate is not the same as weather, because weather is for short period of time and it can be changed according to the time, according to the place. But climate is average weather of a particular region for a long period of time. No doubt weather will decide the climate. It is the average pattern of weather for a particular region. A place that usually does not get much rain over a year would be said to have a dry climate. So dry climate means the area does not get much rain. And what is the meaning of cold climate? It means there is cold for most of the year. So climate is useful for weather forecasting. It is also helps in determining the best time for the farmers to plant their crops. It is helpful for us to plan a vacation, because as we know that in cold climate we prefer to go to the hot places, and in hot climate we prefer to go to the cold places. And due to this much very reason, during the June you can say summer holidays, everyone wants to move towards the hill station, because we know that at that time the climate of hill station is the cool climate, you can say a better climate we can get at that place. So climate is usually described in terms to the familiar elements of the weather. As I told you, weather will decide the climate. Average weather, not only the particular weather, average weather. Temperature and precipitation are its two essential indicators. What are the two essential indicators? Temperature and precipitation. The other important indicators of the climate include sunshine, wind, cloud cover, atmospheric pressure and humidity. When these elements are measured systematically at a given site over a period of several years, we eventually accumulate a record of observations from which we can construct an accurate summary for the climate of that region. Obviously, we just you can say we are not very much sure about that area, about the climate of that particular area, but on the basis of the previous record of the climate, we can construct or we can accumulate a summary of that area, and then we can decide the climate of that region. Now this is the comparison of climate of different region. Like Alpine zone. What is the meaning to say Alpine zone? This climate zone can be experienced at high altitudes. Where it can be experienced? At high altitudes of the Himalayas. In this zone, we have snow throughout the year. Snow throughout the year. So, like one example is given, Jammu and Kashmir. Another one is subtropical zone. This zone is prevalent in most of the northern part of India. Here summers are hot and wet. Like we are in the, you can say, subtropical zone. We are in UP, so we are in subtropical zone. In winter, the temperature may drop down even close to the freezing point of water in the region of higher ranges. Yes, as you know that nowadays winters are going on, so the temperature is day by day falling. Rainfall is quite common in summer season, whereas winters are usually cold and dry. So what are the examples of such kind of zone? UP, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Bihar. These are the examples of subtropical zone. This is India map where different color will indicate the tropical wet area, tropical wet and dry area, semi-arid. So different kind of area you can see in this map. So this is the climate map of India. Third one zone is, this one is tropical zone. This one is tropical zone. It can be divided into subtypes like tropical wet and tropical dry. Now I think you know about the wet where rain is there, dry where no rain is there. Tropical dry monsoon zone. In the tropical wet monsoon zone, the average temperature normally does not fall below 18 degrees Celsius. That means temperature range does not fall below 80 degrees Celsius in the tropical wet monsoon zone. And it is accompanied by average to high rainfall, obviously because it is wet zone, so that's why the rainfall must be high. In tropical dry monsoon zone, the rainfall is not so common as it is dry. So what are the examples of simple tropical zone? I am not saying wet or dry, but the tropical zone are West Bengal, Odisha and Maharashtra. Next one is arid zone. Arid zone, high temperature and low rainfall. High temperature and low rainfall. And there are two main marked features of this climatic zone. It is prevalent in western part of the country and includes a large part of Rajasthan. Obviously, Rajasthan, I think you know about that very low rainfall is there and temperature is very much high. The temperature in this zone may be shoot up as high as 50 degrees Celsius in summer. So the temperature is very high in that region. So this is arid zone. Example is Rajasthan and another one example is Gujarat. Now the next topic, it is climate and adaptation. That means how animals change themselves. Basically plants can also change, but in this chapter we will discuss about the adaptation of animals. So how different animals adopt the climate and change in their structure, change in their behavior to better adopt that climate or to be survive in that climate. So adaptation is a trait that makes an environment, an animal suited to its environment. So it is a kind of trait, a kind of character that makes an animal suited to its environment. It can be a behavioral or a structural trait. Means a change can be in behavior and a change can be in structure. Here are some examples. First one, moving in large group is a behavioral adaptation. It helps protect the members of the group from predators. That means the animal which can feed on them. So it prevent moving in large group prevent the animals. So it is a kind of behavioral adaptation. That means animals start to move in groups. So a kind of behavior is changed according to the climate. The thick fur coat of polar bear is a structural adaptation. It helps to protect it against the cold weather, because making or adopting a thick fur coat on their skin, it is a kind of change in their structure. So it comes in structural adaptation. So two kind of adaptations are there, behavioral and structural. Adaptations usually occur over a long period of time, obviously as the climate is for long period of time, so that's why the adaptation has to be for long period of time. Now in this area we will discuss about the different type of changes in the different animals. The first adaptation we will discuss in the polar region. Polar regions are the areas of the globe surrounding the poles, the North Pole and the South Pole. They are also known as frigid zones because the temperature is very less at that particular area. These regions resting respectively on the Arctic Ocean and the continent of Antarctica are dominated by the polar ice caps. As I told you that the temperature is very low at that particular area. United States, Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Sweden, Finland, Norway and Russia. These are some countries that have some of their parts in this region. So in the polar region, as I told you, the temperature is very less. So some animals change themselves to be survive in this particular region. These regions are very cold. Rainfall is scanty. The coldest temperature even known on earth, minus 89 degrees Celsius, was recorded in Antarctica. So that means that much temperature can fall down. The average winter temperature in the Arctic is about minus 30 degrees Celsius. In winter, the seas surrounding Antarctica freeze into solid snow that covers an area almost as big as the continent itself. Obviously, because the temperature is very much low, so all temperature is low, and in winter the temperature becomes that much low that the water will convert into solid snow. At the poles, the sun shines for half of the year and it is dark for the other half of the year. Obviously, now you know it is due to the rotation and revolution of the earth, these kind of changes. Polar bear, penguin, reindeer, seal, whale and walrus are some animals found in such region. And because these animals are found in that region, so these animals adapt, change some behavioral and some structural changes can become in these animals to survive better in that particular area. So in the next session we will discuss about the adaptation by the animals for that particular area. Have a nice day. Goodbye.